you for reminding us of God's invitation, of God's call. Whom shall I send? Who will go for us? And that's exactly our scripture passage for today. Let's all rise as we read our scripture text for today's reflection. Basahin natin ang sabay-sabay kasi isang verse na naman yan. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And I said, here am I, send me. This is the word of the Lord. Be seated, please. Hindi tayo kailangan ng Diyos para i-accomplish ang kanyang mga plano, ang kanyang mga kagustuhan dito sa lupa. God could perform or accomplish what He wants without us. He who created the world ex nihilo, out of nothing, can do that by Himself. After all, He is God. However, God decided to work with us, to carry out His plans and His purposes in the world with and through human beings like you and me. God has been calling and using people, ordinary people, weak people, to accomplish His plans and purposes in the world. That is God's preferred way in accomplishing His will and purposes for us and in the world. Pwede magicin ng Panginoon kung ano yung gusto niyang mangyari. He can accomplish things by simply doing that. Because He is all-powerful. But He preferred to work with us. He decided to work with you, with me, imperfect as we are. Isn't that good news? We don't need to be somebody. We don't need to be that knowledgeable, that educated. We don't need to be perfect bago tayo gamitin ng Panginoon. From the beginning of time, that was His plan. To work with, in, and through human beings. But what do we do when God calls? From the beginning, God has been calling people. God has been inviting people to work with Him. But what do we do when we hear God's call? How do we respond to the calling, to the invitation of God? Well, God's call can either be refused or accepted. We are creatures of free will. Ginawa tayo ng Diyos na hindi robot. Meron po tayong freedom of choice or free will.
Amen.
So kung ano yung mga pinapresent sa atin, kung ano yung mga panawagan ng Diyos sa atin, we can either refuse it or accept it. What do we do when God calls? The ideal response, of course, is the one made by the prophet Isaiah. Let's learn from him. Mga kapatid, from Isaiah's response, we learn that when God calls, number one, God's people should listen. Pag nananawagan ng Diyos, dapat makinig ang kanyang mga tao. Attentive listening is necessary to hear and understand God's message, God's instructions for us. We will miss the message without listening attentively. There are at least two factors that enabled Isaiah to hear and understand God's call. May dalawang factors na talagang tumulong kung paano narinig at naintindihan ni Isaiah clearly ang panawagan ng Diyos. Una, he was focused on God. Isaiah did not just accidentally hear the voice and the call of God. Yung pagkadinig ni Isaiah sa panawagan ng Diyos sa kanya was not an accident. He heard it because, number one, he was in the temple. He heard it because he was focused on God. Kumbaga, he was in the right place at the right time. Kaya nadinig niya clearly at naintindihan niya ang panawagan ng Diyos. He could not have heard the voice of God if he was not in the temple. He could not have heard the voice of God kung hindi siya nakafocus sa Diyos at that time. Many times we do not hear God's word for us. Many times many people do not hear the word of God, God's voice for them, because they are in the wrong places. Instead of going to the temple, they go somewhere else. Of course, may mga importante tayong mga lakad. Exception to the rule. Sa halip na pumasok sa temple, nakatambay lang sa parks. Kahapon, may sumimba dito. Sumamba. For the first time. Sa Saturday group. Neighbor lang siya natin, taga-Shukiwan. Dito lang siya. I think walking distance yung bahay. Sabi niya, hindi ko alam na andito kayo. Ang lagi kong ginagawa pag day off ko, tambay lang ako sa park. Diyan sa may park dyan. Or, pumupunta kung saan-saan, sa beaches, naliligo, nagpapadisplay ng puso, or hiking. I mean, those things are okay, but there is always a right time for everything. The point is that to hear God's word, we must be where it is taught, where it is preached. Isaiah heard the voice of the Lord because he was in the temple and he was focused on God. Sometimes I miss Manay's instructions. Bakit? I was not paying attention. Hindi ako naka-full focus sa kanya at sinasabi niya sa akin. I was doing something else. One of them is tutut. Or I was listening to something else. Likely, bumili ako ng tawag doon, headset. Headset ba yun? Yung may nagpo-cover dito na dinig mo ang sounds. I love listening to classical instrumental music. I love listening to yung music na may saxophone and yung pan flute ni Leo Rojas. He's a native Indian, I think. Ang ganda. But when Malay speaks to me or gave me instructions, I often missed it because hindi ako nakafocus. Mga kapatid, kahit 100 times